What's happening, everybody? I hope you're doing good. It's a beautiful day. It's about 5 minutes to 5 p.m. I'm by the coast. Beautiful sunset over there. Lovely. Can't really show you, but I hope I can see. I hope I could share this with you, but I'll try. Thank you very much for being part of this. Much appreciated. It's hot. I'm sweaty, but it's nice. You know, the sea's right there. You can feel the breeze. I just needed that for healing, I guess. Thank you very much again for choosing us. I see you from all over the place. Thank you, Zimbabwe, for watching us. Thank you, Rwanda, Uganda, Tanzania, Kenya. Thank you very much for coming back every single time. South Africa, Sawana. Thank you so much, Nigeria, Ghana. I see you, Jamaica, the United States of America, Great Britain. I know our people are all over the world. So today we're going to watch something very interesting. There was a comment, little video made by a man. Let's watch.
My wife Deborah and I met in Zambia. We met in Livingstone. But shortly after we met, I'd already taken a job in France and I moved to Paris. And a few months later, I invited her to come and join me. And yeah, that was the plan. We put everything in place. We crossed every single T and dotted every single I in terms of the Schengen.
Okay, so context. This man met a lady in Africa, Zambian woman, and he tried, they got acquainted. They liked each other. Then he tried everything to get her to travel with him or to travel after him. Let's go.
Of the Schengen visa application, there was nothing we left to chance. Everything was perfect. I arranged to meet her at Paris Charles de Gaulle airport, and I got there just about bang on time because I was coming from work. And waited at the gate for over an hour, and there was no sign of her. So I'm like, what's going on? So I went and I asked the immigration officers, and they said, after a while, and obviously my pidgin French, and they spoke a little English, but they were able to let me know that Deborah had been taken to a police hotel, as they put it, where she'd be treated wonderfully, and I could go and hang out with her, and we'd probably be able to play pool together and things like that.
Place at the police hotel. Crazy stuff, isn't it?
Centre, which was on the fringe of Charles de Gaulle Airport. Luckily, I had my car, drove round, and I found her. And basically, it was not prison hotel, just prison. It was like full-on detention centre, behind wire, behind big fences, and I had to go in and sit in a detention room and wait for her. It's like being in a police station to be interviewed and wait for her to be brought in like she was a criminal. The reason they didn't let her into France was the fact that although all her documentation was in place, her insurance, her Schengen visa, everything else you can imagine, she didn't have enough cash on her. Now, I have travelled around the world and I have never been asked to show cash when entering any country. The fact that I've got plastic, I've got a Visa card or a MasterCard or something similar, or access to a bank account is enough, yes, but look at my skin colour. And that was the fact. Because she was a black African woman without cash in her pocket, they detained her. They wanted...
That's crazy, isn't it? That's very, very crazy. It's crazy. They ask you for cash in this society, 2023, asking you for cash to show how much money you have in order to enter a country. I find that's absolutely crazy. Surely before you go to a country and you ask for visa, the visa embassy in your country or wherever country you apply the visa from will do a thorough research about you to find out whether you are eligible or you're a decent human being, at least to see if you've got enough money and you've got the support system to go to the country you're going to. Because there are many ways to go to European Schengen country, right? Either you're going to have your own money that take you to the country, or somebody can sponsor you saying, this person I'm inviting from Africa is coming to my house. I am a citizen of Holland. I am a citizen of Belgium. I am a citizen of Spain or France. I am sponsoring this person. So this person is going to be living under me because I'm a citizen. I have got a job. I have got funding that normally the country will verify. So before they issue a visa, what happens usually is that you, the host in a European country, you will go to the commune or you go to the state's office to confirm your invitation. The state will check whether you are legal, you are really a countryman. Number three, whether you have income that's sufficient for you to have a, you know what I mean, to have a guest or guest. They do that before they authorize the embassy to issue a visa to the person that's coming. Now, if the state in a country has already authorized you to invite somebody coming from an African country, why would somebody stop them at the airport and asking them for money to show money in order 3,500 euros before they get in the country? Let's continue.
3,500 euros in cash in her possession before they'd let her into the country. It took me 24 hours, but I got in touch with
3,500 euros. Who's got that kind of money?
in touch with my brother, a few of my friends in Paris. We came up with the money because I didn't have it to hand, and took it to her in the detention centre in an envelope, and we asked the authorities if they could lock it away in a safe and give her a receipt, and she'd claim it back when she was going to court to hopefully be released from her detention centre. They refused. They said it wasn't their job, it's nothing to do with them, that it was up to her to look after the money. Great, 3.5 grand in a detention centre. Not much can go wrong there, can it? But what choice did she have? So she had the money in an envelope. She's sharing a room with 2 other women. Deborah's from Zambia. Her roommates, one was Nigerian, one was from the Gambia. And they got on very well. They were all in the same boat. There was a bit of empathy between all of them.
Obviously, when you get Africans locked up in a foreign country, yeah, usually they get very sympathetic with each other. They have to, especially ladies, you know what I mean? This is from Gambia, this other one is from Nigeria, the other one is from Zambia. They have to come together like, hey, sister, you know, we're African, sister. What's happening? Are you okay? Do you have a piece of bread? Can you share? I like that about Africans. That's Ubuntu. Ubuntu is you are in my house, even though you're struggling, you're a foreigner. It's okay. You're going to be fine. You're going to have water to drink. You're going to have something to eat. You're going to have something to cover yourself with. And I love that about Africans, even though it's dying in some areas of Africa. Let's go.
So great. And luckily they did get on, because the next day, Deborah went to take a shower in very dirty facilities that were there, where they treated the detainees like they were shit. They hadn't committed any
I really like his style, his storytelling. A very dirty facility. It's really, really, really good.
crimes, remember? They were just being held while their immigration status was being investigated. Deborah went for this shower, left the money on the bed. Obviously, Deborah was in a panic situation, wondering what had happened to the money. But fortunately, the Gambian lady she was sharing with had picked up the money and kept it safe. And when they crossed paths again, she told her, oh, I've got the money on my person. Here is your 3,500 euros.
Wow, how beautiful. Here is your money. I like that about Africans. Sometimes.
It's a remarkable story, because in that situation, these people were desperate, and often the case was they were lacking the funds to get into France. It wasn't always the case, but there was a primary reason. But she returned the money to her. Deborah doesn't know her name.
So all these people were stopped at the border because they didn't have cash to get into France. You know what I'm saying? All these people were stopped, okay, at the border because they did not have 3,500 euros to get into the country at Schengen. So even though they were stopped because of money, the fact that Deborah left the money on the bed, somebody else could have taken the money and said, okay, I've got money to get in the country. Anyway, that's, you know, everybody their prerogative. If she said, I've got the money, they will let her in, right? Nobody's going to come and investigate a case of theft at that position, right? But she still took the money and said, hey, don't worry, I've got your money. You know what I'm saying? That is powerful. You are stopped at the border because you don't have cash, right? You are put in a boxes, which I found completely unacceptable. They put you in prison. They call it immigration hotel, but no, they just prison. They pure prison. Dirty and stuff. I've never been there, but dirty and stuff. We hear stories. Obviously, that's how they treat Africans. But seeing the fact that she kept the money for her sister from another country, it's just beautiful.
All she knows is that she's from the Gambia, and around about 2014, probably February, she was held in this detention centre at Charles de Gaulle Airport in Paris. Now, I doubt that anyone could ever trace her, but if they could, Deborah would love to thank her face to face. We owe her so much gratitude for her honesty and decency when she was facing a desperate situation herself is quite remarkable. The following day, Deborah went to court and was immediately released from detention by the judge, who was also highly critical of the immigration officers who had detained her on spurious grounds. Obviously racist, but the judge didn't go quite that far. Whether we could take further action afterwards, it would have cost us too much, I guess, and we were just relieved to be together and able to get on with our lives. And from there, everything else is history. We've been married for like nearly 11 years, still very much in love. But yeah, would all that have worked out the same way if it wasn't for that woman from the Gambia? Who knows?
Man, this is beautiful. I mean, married 11 years. I'm not sure what nationality this man is, but we love them people like this who are just human beings. They don't lean towards a certain way of thinking because they are either black or white. I mean, what is fair is fair. What is unfair is unfair. What is just is just. What is unjust is unjust. Doesn't matter where you're from. Doesn't matter what country you are from. I firmly don't believe. I don't believe in nationalities. I believe people's nationalities are not what's written on the papers. I think your nationality is more the way you associate yourself with people, the way you agree on certain values. Those are your nationality. People of your nationality are the people with very similar principles as you, people with very similar values. That's your nationality. Because you can be, countrymen with people who think complete opposite of what you're thinking. You can be countrymen with people who are thieves, who are killers, who are, you know what I'm trying to say? They do not represent who you are. And why is that a nationality? And I like that about this man, saying, he met his wife somewhere in Africa, a Zambian woman. They fell in love. He decided to go back to Europe, trying to call this lady to Europe to come and join him. But she faced difficulties in spite of the fact that they did everything they had to do. They got all the papers, invitation letters, banking details, all substances, everything they ask you before you travel to Schengen, for those of you who know. When they arrived, or when she arrived in Europe, even though she had the visa, she had the papers, she had everything, a return ticket, she was still stopped at the airport and put in jail, in the most disgusting way possible, just because she's African. And he says it. I have never been asked for cash anywhere I've been in the world. Why are they asking her for cash? 3,500 euros. Because of this. It's clear. Look how I'm sweating. It's very sunny here. Yes. And this is the very unfair world in which we're living in. And I still don't understand how some African countries allow Europeans to come in the country with no visa. I don't understand it. In some African countries, a European, a German, and whoever, France, Spain, Belgium can come for 3 months, 90 days, no visa required. You don't ask them. And there's not even reciprocity. There is no reciprocity, meaning a South African cannot go to England with no visa. It cannot go to Germany or Spain or Belgium with no visa. But you have to go through processes. Okay, so invitation letter, banking details, return ticket, and more, and personal investigation. What do you do in life? Are you married? Are you on a thorough check? And sometimes they just go, no, we don't want to send you, and we're not going to give you the visa. I remember during COVID, I took a flight to Tanzania. Okay, because I didn't want to feel forced to do anything in terms of, you know what I mean. So I went to Tanzania because Tanzania at the time, they were not forcing people to take that. I'm not going to say the name because we're getting censored. I went to Tanzania and I got there. The number of Europeans I found in Tanzania, unbelievable. So many Europeans left Europe coming to Tanzania because in Tanzania they could be free. They could still walk down the street. They could go to the club. They could go have a meal. They could gather, have fun at the beach while Europe was completely locked. How come Africans could not do the opposite if the cases were turned? Do you even remember at the time, they started blaming Africans of starting this story. I don't know if you remember. And we were very lucky because even though people were falling all over the world, in Africa, there was still nothing happening until some people came from Europe coming to Africa. That's when Africa started closing down businesses, shutting down systems and stuff like that. Let me know how you feel about this. How you feel about this brother. Okay, he's white, but he's a brother. Surely because he's got within his hands one of our sisters and looking after her. If he's ready to come public like this and speak out very openly about injustice, I think he deserves our support. Your comments, your contribution is very necessary. Let me know how you feel about this. What is your comments? How can Africa give itself respect? How can we better ourselves? How can we give ourselves the value that we naturally deserve? But apparently they make us feel like we want to come to them. We need to come to them. We need to be scrutinized. We need to be checked. We need to be looked into. We need to prove that we have money. 3,500 euros in cash. I mean, you have bank cards. You could use bank cards, bank statement. Who carries 3,500 euros in cash to prove that he's not going to be begging the government for money and food? Crazy. Especially if you have a host who said, I'm looking after this person. I am a citizen. I'm going to look after them the time they're going to be here. Unbelievable. God bless.